Welcome to the Untitled Twitch stream. John's the CEO and Boomer. Ashley's the real leader. Chris brings the vibes and juices as our enjoyment increases. Welcome to the Untitled Twitch stream.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, it's so dark in my screen.
Yeah, what's up, Chris?
I'm in the new apartment and I haven't got the lighting right yet. So
Oh, yeah.
That's fair.
Sick. Okay, I was going to wait to
Yeah.
bring up, we missed it. Our guest today was just being so fucking cool, making a bunch of vape clouds in the preview screen.
Just
Ooh.
a hot smoke cloud boy. What's
Yo.
up, Joe?
What's
Hey,
going
man.
on, guys? How are you?
Good, man.
Very
you?
good.
Hello.
So do you know Ashley? Ashley Joe?
No.
Hey, Ashley.
Hi, nice
how
to
are
meet you.
Nice to meet
Very
you.
Very funny, Chris. Joe, you know Chris. This is Chris. Chris is he killed the woman who lives in that apartment, which is why he's wearing overalls.
Oh, very nice. How you doing, Chris? Long time. It's been a
I'm
while.
cool, man. I'm in Canada now, so just chilling.
That place.
Yeah, Joe and I know each other from way back. We did fucking shitty mics together.
Did you?
Yeah, we did all those garbage rooms.
Let's talk about that for 2 hours only. Go ahead. Let's start. Joe, let's
Yeah,
talk about it. What let's talk, London Open mic. Oh, Ashley, you were so lucky. Oh, whoa, what did you do there, Chris? I like that.
I turned off the automatic exposure. But because I have
And now
so
you're
much
just
like,
in heaven.
there's so much
Yeah.
natural light. We have to close the curtain.
Don't do it. I like this. It feels like the stream is you deciding whether or not you're gonna live.
Richards. Joe, you know Richard, right? You say garbage rooms. I say
can I
places
just-
like
can-
gig.
Can I just say how impressive this whole thing is? This stream is. I don't really do streams ever.
I mean,
Well,
it is
I'm
so
just in
sad
awe.
that you find this impressive. We
Thanks, buddy.
could
Yeah,
blow,
we are
Yeah.
at the low end of the scale.
We haven't even
like-
done anything good yet.
yeah.
No,
We haven't
I
even
mean,
showed you we haven't even showed you a video where Chris talks about, oh, how do you
about
like
that?
that? How do you
How
like? Do
about
you like
that?
this? Do you like
This is what I'm
this?
saying. The media coming up. It's incredible.
How do you like this?
Wait till we get a raid.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that video is fucking awesome.
Wait till we show you a video of Chris talking about a woman sucking pussy juice out of his fucking beard.
Best day of my life. That's how we feel about that.
Yay, you
That's
like
how we feel
that?
about
And
that.
the
Oh my
worst
God.
day of mine.
Loving it.
See, this is what I should have done when the pandemic hit. I should have got on my Twitch game, just got up to speed, but I'm too lazy. I didn't do it.
Yeah,
Man,
we
it took
Now
us
I'm back. Now I'm back to the shit open mics.
Oh,
No,
it's
you're doing
perfect
real
cir-
gigs now.
Yeah.
No, I do real gigs.
You're a big boy.
Yeah, man. But I still find myself in a horrific show every now and again. It happens to the best of us.
Oh,
Oh.
for sure. Yeah.
All the time. The amount of times I was just booking Edinburgh previews before we started this year's show, and I already know I'm like, I wonder if this is the one I'm going to turn up to, and I'm going to go, wow, this is going to suck because the promoter has decided that one person is enough to do a gig, and it's not, and I hate this, but what the fuck am I going to do? I'm already in Stoke or wherever the fuck you find yourself.
Buddy, I had one in Montreal where there was literally 0 audience members and there were 10 comics booked. Or sorry, here in Victoria, and it was like just an open mic thing, and I was just sitting there like, okay, we'll just have beers and hang out, and that'll be nice. And the guy running the show was like, all right, let's go, let's start it. And so I watched them go. I was supposed to go last, and as the show happened, it took about 2 hours for the show to happen, and by the end the room was full. I've never seen anything like it.
What?
Started out literally empty, and within 2 hours it became a thing. It was fucking wild. By the time I got on, it was a full room.
That's insane.
It was nuts, man.
I did that at the Fringe on the blunderbuss. I performed upstairs to nobody, just talking to myself, and then eventually people came up, and then the person whose gig it was asked me to leave, and then had a full room I cultivated.
Wait a minute.
Fucking rude.
Go back.
Do
and
those
tell
gigs
that
have that sort of slow clap momentum though, where it's like it's taking a while, but the end result is really good? Or was it still just a bit like this gig started with
That's a
nobody in the
really
room
good
though?
question.
Who,
That's
me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To both of you.
I was just talking because I just liked the room. I was just rabbiting on, just seeing what would happen because I knew people were downstairs, so they heard a microphone and people sort of slowly came up, and then I was asked to leave. When it was
So wait, you were just
Who
yeah.
asked you to
Who?
leave? If you don't want to say it
who-
on stream, we have a private chat option that you can put. That's where we name names. John's gone. John lost his internet.
John is
John's
gone.
Oh, he went. It
Um,
was John.
Yeah, of course it was.
He just died.
That's
Nah, I
Russell
don't know who
Hicks.
it was. It was just some weird guy. Yeah, it is Russell Hicks though.
Yeah, Russell Hicks did that. He had that show in like a big sports bar right near the station. You know, the one that's like under the bridge.
Yeah.
And it was empty every day. He would do that show at like 2 p.m. and there was no one in there, and he would just start going, you know, riffing, doing his Russell Hicks shit. And as people would walk by the door, he'd like fucking lure them in. And then when they were sat down, he would gather them. They became like a team to try to fill the room. And I remember him telling me he did it every day. I was like, you're a maniac and you're going to be amazing. If you keep doing this, you're going to be fucking incredible. It was before he'd really figured out the whole riffing all the time thing. So it was still some shows were the best thing you've ever seen. And sometimes he would just fucking eat it for 20 minutes or an hour. And so it was really exciting.
I've seen both of those.
You're going to get this. Yeah, he's I saw him die so hard in front of a university crowd and then pick it up right at the end, and they literally carried him off stage. He started killing so hard in the last 5 minutes. I've never seen anything like it. I've still got a video of it on
Here's
my
my question. Was I at that gig?
No.
Okay. Because I saw him at a university gig with Chris. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Because he killed for, it was a different gig, because he killed for 20 minutes and then the last thing he said, and this was wild, was maybe Robin Williams was right to kill himself. And he said that, and then the entire room went, what now? And then he just didn't get off stage and bombed for 20 minutes. Like it was I was like, he's done it. Let's get out of here. And then said that, and I was like, huh? And then my next memory is there was a guy on stage. I went up to smoke. I come back, and there's a guy on stage, and Russell is on his shoulders. Like he's Master and the other guy is Blaster from Master Blaster, and he's just trying to save a gig.
Yeah, that guy goes. I saw him start a new catchphrase in a town in East Grinstead. We were doing the show. I can't remember what it's called now. I was the resident host for like a year.
Oh, that was the guy who ran the university gig I did.
So I think it might have been the same gig then. Because like he was eating and then he rode out and then they carried him. But I did that show with him a few times because that Ollie,
Phil K's gig.
No. Ollie something. I can't remember his last name. Nice guy. Never was in stand up. Just a fan of comedy.
Wait a minute.
Who? Grinstock comedy.
Who here saw a fucking Russell Hicks gig and for no reason not Russell Kane, fucking Phil K was just naked watching in the front row like this.
I wasn't at that one. I wish I had been. I love that.
Someone naked a few times.
Oh yeah, Ashley, do you know this is the best thing, Joe? Sometimes Ashley makes us all feel like old ghosts because she'll just not know who someone is when you should know who someone is. Get ready for that feeling, Ashley. Who's Phil K?
I do know who Phil K is.
Oh,
I do. I feel like I know the name, but I can't place it.
No,
he's a gypsy, not Romani.
Wait.
He's a gypsy.
Yeah, like
is all over the place. I saw a crowd.
I do know him.
You know how Up the Creek sometimes just hates people?
Oh yeah.
You know, they just go, fuck you, and they just stick with that for the whole time. I've never seen them hate someone like they hated Phil K.
Can we watch Phil? Can we watch Phil K's Russell? Let's take YouTube off and watch Phil K's fucking Russell Howard on Russell Howard's Good News because it is Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah. I was going to say while we were talking about Grinstead, Phil K booked me for a gig in Grinstead when he was sort of living there. Yep. And he was living in a van, as far as I can tell, and he took me to the show. We did it. It was great. But he wanted me to get my last train. And in true Phil K style, he goes, "It's all right. I've got a car. I bought it off someone for £30. This fucking car, man. I can't. I don't even know how to describe what it was." And he said he managed to find a battery to get it going. And he was swigging. Like straight vodka from a bottle. Yeah. Driving like 80 miles an hour down the wrong way. Doesn't have a license to get me to the station.
Yeah.
You can't just have a normal interaction with Phil.
No. I went to go see
his hour. Everything's an adventure.
I went to see his hour in Edinburgh once, and he showed up 20 minutes late, and he was like, I needed to go and send money to my daughter, and I forgot to do it. And then on the way, I liked another man's shirt, so we swapped shirts in the street. And that's why
he does that all the time. I don't know Phil K. I know Phil K. Phil K. does not know me because he has definitely called me Phil, which I think that he thinks me and Phil Nickel are the same person, which is crazy because he's known Phil Nickel for 30 years and I do not look like Phil Nickel. But
Height
he's like,
disparity.
You don't look like
alone.
Phil Nickel at all.
yeah. The only thing
I
that is
have
similar
established that
Go
I
ahead.
do not know who Phil K is.
I mean, that is very surprising given something
I feel
that
like I
know.
only know his name, and that's like
I
I've
think
heard
you've
people
heard-
say it, and that's it.
Off stream, I will explain to you how you've heard his name because I know something that, just like Fitzheim, Phil should be fictional.
Yeah.
No,
absolutely
Phil,
correct.
Phil. Oh my god! But I've seen him. I saw him coming out of the Gilda Balloon after doing Late and Live. I'm walking towards Palmyra, going home because I lived in that direction, so you'd always pass Palmyra going home. And Phil Nickel was on that street, yelling at a guy. But come on, let's switch shirts.
Phil K, you mean?
Phil K, pardon me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Phil Nickel could also be doing that.
Yeah,
but
Phil Nickel could
it was
easily be
Phil
doing that.
K.
Phil ruined a guy's whole project once by just being himself, where this guy had this idea where he was going to get comedians to give tours of London, but each comedian would pick a part of London that they knew a lot about, and they would give you like their
Oh no.
tour.
Oh no.
And so all these people picked like cool little spots. Phil K picks Oxford Street at 2 p.m. on Saturday. And so he's got a group of like 20 people and he's trying to give them a tour, and it's the most cramped, fucking awful experience that it ruined this guy's business. But it's such a funny idea. It's so funny.
I just love that Phil K thought he was helping. That's the other thing is you can't be angry at the man, even though you're like sometimes you're like this is genuinely stupid.
Yeah.
I heard a story once that he going to a gig somewhere in Europe. You know how you can make a pipe out of an apple?
Mm-hmm.
He brought an apple.
Just in case.
Just to, no, like he like had dope on him too, supposedly, but he was like better. And he like they were flying together, and he put the apple in security, and they were like, "What's the apple for?" And he's like,
I want to say I've also seen him do one of the best shows I've ever seen. Like, I don't want this to be a full side. I do think he's like oddly brilliant. Like, I did a show with him in the back room of a bar in Dalston, and it's one of the few times that I had to give someone a standing ovation. Like, as soon as it ended, we all jumped out of our seats because he just did something we'd never seen before, and we're moved by and we're cry laughing at. Like, he was like, when he's in the zone, nobody better. Genuinely brilliant, absolutely incredible.
What he's doing
just also
is
a maniac.
Guys, I may have read some. May have been reading some Del Close after watching a documentary about Del Close. So I've really leaned to some pretentious comedy chaos thing. What it is Phil K is completely just trying to live in the moment and make his comedy from that moment. Yeah. The problem is that Phil K is a chaotic person and also doesn't know that like sometimes that you just have to do your act because there's no moment. It's just people in a room. Yeah. But Phil K is like, I could do that, or I could take a full shit on stage. And they were like, wait, what? And he's like, oh, he's shitting. Oh, he's not even supposed to be on stage right now. Lucy Pierman. All right, well, I guess he's doing the first spot. Like that's the thing. Oh man. Like,
and it's people forget. Good. Someone commented he used to have his own television show.
Phil, I've watched it. It's all on YouTube. I've watched all of it. He
was a big star.
Yeah, he was super famous. He was like Channel 4 in the 90s. That's my buddy Kenny, who I'm still trying to get on the show. When I told him I was doing a show with Phil K, was like, Phil, are you kidding me? That's my dad's favorite comedian. And I was like, shut up. There's no way that's true.
So I don't know if this is true. I heard this from someone who I think is just angry about the situation, but was basically, he just wouldn't not be Phil K. And may have, so one person one time implied he had a heroin problem, but I don't think that that's true because I've never heard it since. And also,
you'd know
if he has a heroin problem, he's the best junkie I've ever seen in my entire life. Because I got news for you, he's a bit irresponsible, but he's aloof hippie. He's pothead irresponsible with the manic energy of someone who has literally sold out the assembly rooms just doing a whatever he fucking wants show. That quote unquote, I once asked Phil Nickel about Phil K's shows. He went, well, I went to go see him, and it started off with him walking on stage naked, and it ended with us all on Arthur's seat, and he was performing a wedding. And I was like, in an hour, and he was like, And he went and he kept to time. Like I was like, holy shit. And so that's the thing. He's just, I think he was super famous, but you try and produce around that. Like you'd be like, all right, well, we're meeting with the Grip at 9. And he's like, the Grip? No. We're not. I just need 8 cameras and we'll figure this out.
Yeah.
And yeah, God bless
I
him.
doubt he has a heroin problem. I just think he might have just done heroin for a few weeks once.
I think that I think
Moved
it's
on.
probably,
dabbled. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Here, okay,
Someone had heroin once. He just fucking, yeah, why not?
if you didn't know heroin was so addictive, would you try it? You just heard
No.
about this new drug. Well, we're different people.
If you didn't, if I didn't see it ruin people's lives, yeah.
yeah.
Sounds
That's
amazing. I watched Rick. What's his name? Rick, the American comic, John. You definitely know him. Who's a
Rick
maniac.
Shapiro. Rick Shapiro.
I watched Rick Shapiro do a show in Montreal, and the whole show was about how heroin ruined his life. And at the end, I still wanted to do heroin. That's how good he made it sound.
Oh yeah. By the way, Rick Shapiro one time disappeared after that show that Chris saw him do in Montreal. Disappeared for a full 8 hours. Couldn't find him. Here was the mystery. They knew where his shoes were. You never brought up where he was.
Wow. He
Montreal in the winter. It's shoe required. It's
he
like
was friends with my wife.
Yeah. Well, were they friends?
Him and Steph were like friends. She went. They used to hang out because she interviewed a bunch of comedians when we first started dating because her PhD was supposed to be about comedy originally, and so like after her first date, she went to go hang out with Stuart Lee. Because of her, I got to have dinner with Eddie Pepitone. Like she's friends with Andy Kindler. All these like weird things that I wouldn't have guessed. But Rick Shapiro was like a huge fan of hers because she's brilliant and funny and mean and beautiful. And he invited her out. Some dude was trying to film a documentary about him, which is a nightmare. I can't imagine trying to organize that.
Paul Provenza.
No, it was some kid. It was some kid.
Oh,
yeah. And
sorry. It was Paul Provenza was trying to do one about Andy Andrist. Who is also a noted scumbag weirdo comedian.
Yeah, but at least Rick is like also brilliant. So Sadaf was like, oh, just go out to Germany and hang out with Rick while he's filming this documentary. And I was like, all right, be careful. He's going to get weird. And he did.
Yeah.
And not like aggressive or anything. But then when she was like, I have a boyfriend. No, thank you. He was like, oh, I bet he's one of those big buff comics who just talks about fucking all the time. And he's really, I was like, nope, big mistake, bud. Couldn't have got it more wrong. But yeah, he was like mad at her. Never spoke to her again.
Know what's funny about Rick Shapiro? Guys who haven't heard of Rick Shapiro, which I like to call this side of the show, is everyone has a version of the story Chris has about Rick Shapiro, where they basically are like, this guy's great. He seems totally fine. And then he either tries to fuck them or borrow money. And then it's just like that. I got tricked.
Yeah, he full turns. Real shame.
Actually,
like clockwork. He'll either fuck you or ask to borrow money.
Exactly. Yeah. Because actually, you really kind of skipped being in like an open mic scene because you've moved a lot. Like the Scottish comedy, not during Edinburgh, in my mind, always seems nice. Everyone's it's friends. Everyone's cool.
Yeah,
they all look like
nice.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, you don't know.
I
you don't know suffering. You don't know.
You never met
I've
Dangerous
been
Tea.
very fortunate in that when I first started doing stand-up, I already had so many friends that were stand-ups that I got gigs very quickly. Within 3 months of starting doing it, Alison had let me support her. So that just bumped me up into doing Dublin gigs without asking for them. And then when I moved over to Scotland, I felt like I was going to be really starting again. But I mean, I think I've mentioned this before. I did one gig because I accidentally ended up living with the person who booked that one through this, like a spare room ad. And then 2 people at that gig, one of whom worked for Monkey Barrel and one of whom was friends with someone at the stand, then booked me for those. So I just didn't even apply for like Top Banana or Red Raw. They got other people put me on. So
Actually,
I'm just an asshole.
I'm really sorry to do this, and I think it's probably a little rude to do it publicly, but You're fired. Joe is the new Ashley. Sorry, guys. We have to do it. We need people that have suffered on London open mics. Yeah. Oh, sure. Your medical history reads like different ways you could kill a crazed pig, and yet you continue to survive. But still. Also, I don't like that Dangerous T gets all of the heat of the London open mic scene. He's, if anything, a welcoming and calming force compared to all the other ones I just didn't learn the names of. Let's start with this guy. I can't remember his name. He has a fedora. He faked getting punched in the face over a comedy show about Jimmy Savile, and I am willing to bet he's gone very hard right.
John Sharp?
Not John Sharp. I'll know his name.
Sure.
Joe Jacobs? Who's John Sharp? Who's John Sharp?
Yeah, try to describe John Sharp.
Go ahead. Oh my God, yeah.
John Sharp, the first time I ever saw him was at the Comedy Store King Gong. He lasted about 4 seconds. He got as far as putting a lampshade on his head and shouting, and then he was booed off. He's a perpetual.
The symbol of fun that is a lampshade on your head.
No.
Oh man, that's the King.
You're
Gong
going to be
is
doing something
very
wrong if you're doing
rough.
that wrong.
Yeah, he had his little dirty penis out. That was the reason.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe. To King
You
Kong.
tried to get somebody to use it as the cord. Sorry.
Well, that is the end of the story. Lampshade on the nut. He was wrong straight off. But I've seen him. He's like one of them. Are you aware of the beef between Dangerous T and John Sharp? Like,
Amazing.
One for the ages.
Amazing. The lowest
What?
stakes war of
What are
all
you talking
time.
about? Joe,
They had,
take me through it
Well, it's
step
hard to
by
re-
step.
it's hard to remember, but I know that on Facebook there was a slanging match. A lot of it like illegible, but the gist of it was Dangerous T accused John Sharp of stealing material. I think maybe. Which is amazing.
Where did this take place? Do you remember the forum? Do you remember the forum this took place on?
No. I think it would just be Dangerous T sort of output would say John Sharp steal joke.
Mhm.
John, that kind of thing. Yeah, Richard Wright knows what I'm saying. It did happen. I didn't imagine it.
No, I didn't think you did. Richard, do you know where this happened? Because I'll bring it the fuck up, and we will go through line by line.
Oh, it
wish,
can't
I
still
wish.
be up.
Oh my God,
Um,
it wasn't material. It was the sound of a bee.
Right. It was the sound effect. Yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah.
Absolutely. I remember my main memory of John Sharp is Joe, how often did you do Pear Tree? The second worst show in the UK.
Not enough. I did it a couple times, but
I used to do it as often as I could because Brian and Crystal just made me laugh. Like I just thought they were so funny at the disdain that they showed for everybody on the show. But
Was
the
this
best part
Brian Damage?
Brian Damage, yeah. And John Sharp would do the show every single week, and he would sit in the front row as soon as he finished his set and just grimace at everybody. And Brian would be so mean to John the whole show. It was the biggest laughs anyone got the whole show, was just ripping on John Sharp in between acts. And I would just go to watch that. It was fucking great. And no one felt bad for him because John was such a fucking dick. It's like,
you should get John on this. I think let him clear his
Absolutely
name.
I have
both
never.
sides. Both sides.
Here's a wild thing, and I'm gonna have to join Ashley on the not. I've not been on enough dirty open mics. I don't think I ever met John Sharp. I don't think I ever did. I did gigs with Dangerous T a bunch. I've never done a gig with this man.
He's a he's a signpost. He's one of those guys that you meet when you start doing stand up and you go, oh, not that way.
All right.
That is such a cruel way to describe another person.
That's
Absolutely.
fucking tons of them. That's how I thought of it when I was new to stand up. I'd just be like, no entry sign. Cool.
Yeah, no,
Road
that's
closed.
helpful, but I mean it's accurate.
Yeah.
If you're doing too many shows and John Sharp is appearing, something's going wrong.
Yeah. John Sharp,
Yeah.
Jimbo. Those were the two that I was like, I'm fucking up. I can't be near these guys.
Jimbo. Who is Jimbo?
Jimbo was like if John Sharp joined the circus.
Great way to describe somebody to somebody
You-
who just said they don't know who John Sharp is.
Yeah. There's no other equivalent. You can't describe. They're both like old men, who hate you and hate comedy and insist on doing it. And the thing about John was he would do like old sort of vaudeville stuff. Like he had props and shit, and he'd talk about like sweeping. Thank you, Richard. And it was like puns and set up punchlines and just bad jokes. And Jimbo, I remember Jimbo once spent a minute on stage trying to do the splits. And just
that's way longer than you think that is too.
It was
That's
so
way
long.
That's
It was
such a long time.
also during
That's
a
a
competition set. It
bit
was during
that
a
should
round.
last
It was during a
20
round in the
seconds
Comedy
max.
Nights new comedian competition.
Oh,
And then he yelled at me because I was on before him, and I went 20 seconds over, and he's like, "You're the reason I bombed." I was like, I don't think so, but you never even did the splits. You just gave up.
Fucking Comedy Nights. I remember that guy was so. What was that fucking guy's name? He moved to Edinburgh to open a comic book shop.
Bobby. I like Bobby.
I like Bobby too, but I remember he once was. I remember this, and it just. I didn't need to hear this at this moment. As he went, and bear in mind, I just was on the tube with this act, and he was like, all I'd asked was, "Hey Bobby, can I go on first? I'm going to go on first," and he just went, I mean. You can, but you don't really have the energy of someone I like up top, like James Loveridge. He's someone who can open a gig. And I was just like, what's that even fucking mean, man? What's that even fucking mean?
James is a ray of sunshine. He's all
I love James too, but it was like he wasn't on the gig. And I was just like,
that's so
why'd
funny.
you just pick that guy? I'll never forget that being like,
not even someone on the show.
why'd you just like throw that name out there?
You know what it is though,
so
with people like
frustrating.
Bobby, I feel for promoters because only doing comedy for so long do I realize how irritating it must be to just have every new act trying to bore you to tears with this, like asking for feedback, asking for this. And the best example of that is the guy from Downstairs at the King's Head, Peter. I don't know if you ever met him.
Yeah, what a great curmudgeon.
Yeah. The first time I ever met Peter when I was doing the Thursday, I'm like a fucking year in, dog shit. But I remember I met him out front. He was smoking a cigarette, and I'd like, I don't know if you're aware, you have to call between 9 and 11 for a gig, and you try and build up a rapport over those years. It took me about 5 years to get a weekend. So I'd call, say, "Hey Peter, how's it going?" "Yes." "I was just wondering if I could just can I book us? Who is it?" "It's Joe Jacob." "Yep, March." Bye. Anyway, first time I met him, I tried to sort of build the rapport, so he might remember me, might give me some work. He was smoking a cigarette. I went over to him and I said, "Hey Peter, it's Joe. I was emailing you about the show. It's really nice to finally meet you, man." And he just looks at me. He goes, it's actually harder to do that than to just say, "Oh yeah, you're right."
Yeah, that was a choice. That was a decision.
Now, Joe,
that is effort.
Joe, we have something here called the private chat. I'm going to put a name. I'm going to tell a story. And I'm going to put a name there because this is betraying Peter from the King's Head's trust. But the punchline only works if you get the name. I'm not going to say the name to everyone, but I'll put it there at the end and then watch. I think Chris is going to love this story. I think Chris is going to love it, which is I got into the King's Head like relatively quickly, just because Imran Yusuf of all people walked me in there and just bigged me up to Peter.
Imran
and
does
then Peter
that.
just always booked me. Great guy for that. Imran Yusuf deserves more love than he gets, I think. Anyway, so I was there. This is my first year in comedy. Another person who's gone on to some stuff was doing his first spot, and Peter's not even watching. He watched the first seconds. He's like, "I understand it." And I was like, sat in the back, and I was like, "You're not even going to watch? You said this guy, you're going to give him notes." And he was like, "I've seen enough. I know who this guy is. It's fine." And I was like, all right. And a guy comes in and he's just like, "It's not for me, mate. I don't think you're being who you are up there, and it's not for me." And he was like, "What? I killed." And he's like, "Yeah, everyone kills. It's not for me." And the guy walks out and he goes, "That guy's a bad guy. There's something in that guy. I don't want to be around that guy. That guy's," and I was like, "Really?" And he was like, "Yeah, that guy, there's something about him." And I always disagreed with him until very recently. And what this guy has become, it really makes a lot of sense.
Yes. That's what Sadaf hated on site as well. Sadaf would like not come to shows if that guy was on. She's like, "That dude's fucking garbage and he hates women And
Gotta
you should
love
know that.
instincts like that.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Wow.
it was.
I had a
it was-
really good moment of something like that recently where I've been doing a bit of work on stuff, and we won't get into that.
You're having plastic surgery.
She's doing foot videos.
Yeah. You're selling your underwear online.
Finally, a business.
The work has involved a bit of security work,
Mm.
and so I was maintaining a barrier of sorts, and we have backup of actual security guys there, but there was a guy that came up to the barrier and he sort of tried to get through, and I was just like, you can't come through here, you need to walk around the longer way, all of this. And he walked away, but I walked over to the security guard and I said, there's a guy that's just come up, I think he's going to cause trouble. And no sooner had I finished saying the sentence than he had gone and gotten 3 of his mates and come back and broken into a car. And I finished speaking the sentence and the security guy just ran because behind me they could the alarm was going off and they could see.
Who breaks into a car with 2 friends? Isn't the whole point?
I'll tell you.
do
I'll
it
tell you
quickly?
exactly who. Do you want to know who, Chris? Do you want to know who? You ready?
Yeah.
You know who?
I was
Let's
just-
go, man! Let's go!
I almost just said the name in the private chat. just just naturally just went to do
I
that.
gotta tell you, it would have been fine. I would have. Yeah.
I put an extra little detail into the private chat for you guys.
Oh.
Ooh,
This is down-
nice.
Oh, that's
just
so mean.
killing in the private chat. Just killing in the private chat.
Oh my god! I'm not going to bring up that name, Joe, because you put it there, but your reaction to that particular situation was my favorite, because I had just got to the country when that happened, and I had just heard about it that day. I ran into you and Jamali, and your reaction was the fucking best.
Oh, I can't remember.
What was it, Joan?
I mean, it gives away who it was if
I think we can talk. I think we've talked about that guy.
Yeah,
on
we've
stream
talked about the guy. Are you fine talking about it, Joe?
I don't care.
before. Nice.
Okay, what it was, we're talking about Filio Huff, who was the guy who, by the way, got so outed online and booted out of British comedy. And I saw Joe like the next day after it happened. And Joe was just like, "Yeah, man, it's super fucked up. I really hope my agents don't hold that against me because I was the one who got him a showcase."
Showcase? I'm the one that got him signed.
Yeah.
Did
Oh,
my
that was
show.
okay. So yeah.
Oh,
But you
shit.
timed it so perfect because either you had a cigarette or in my head you had a cigarette because you just were like you're just like because it was like I was like holy shit I was so you were just like very low energy, like a perfect precision delivery of just like old Joe might be in trouble. It was really good. Oh man. What happened to that guy? Because I got to tell you, only England is the place where I'm like, this is a push. He disappears completely. Like I could also see him like working for that guy who books Brussels, and when you ask what the fee is, he's like, "We'll work it out when you're over here."
Yeah, I saw him. I saw him booked for something recently. He's going to do like, I think he's doing black gigs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a completely separate scene, right? Which was
Well,
so
kinda,
funny.
yeah.
During
Yeah,
I remember during the pandemic, a friend of mine was on the board of the Live Comedy Association, and we would talk on Zoom semi regularly, and we were talking about it. And I asked her, I was like, "So how involved are you in the black scene?" And she's like, "The black scene," like just like the whole comedy association just forgot there was a black scene.
Oh my god.
And they just weren't involved at all. I was like, "That's real bad, guys.
course
That's
not.
real bad."
That's something. That's something
so
interesting though. That
funny.
I wanna bring up with 3 comics. Yeah, you know how everybody in comedy is always talking about diversity of bills. Don't you
Mhm.
think there's something to be said for the fact that a lot of black people might just want to make their fortunes on YouTube anyway and not perform to like 3 people in Doncaster? They don't care if they're on the bill or not.
I mean,
Joe,
yeah,
I got to tell you, you bring up a good point, but I think they're more worried about the diversity for the big gigs that make money, and I think the ladies
There
and
you
gentlemen
go.
of the African American community will leave me performing for a dog, Silky, and one guy in literal Doncaster, England. They'll leave that to me. They don't need that.
Yeah. Well, I think the main thing is about how bookers would literally say, "I can't have you on the show. I already have a black guy."
Yeah, that was where that's where I
which
think
was
the
a
issue
sentence that I think was said
Yeah.
pretty regularly.
I had an email saying they can't have me because I'm a white guy recently, and I was like, I should have done a Konstantin kissing and put it on Twitter.
I
was
hate
so
that
funny.
so much because it's always done by people where I'm always like, you're only saying this because you've heard a new excuse not to say no, and you don't have the ability to just be semi-confrontational and go, no, I don't want you on my like, it's never actually you're trying to help. It's never from a person where I'm like, I think your heart's in the right place. It's always in the guy who's like, can't have any black people because of Marx. And you're just like, oh, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about.
Also, his act at the time, I haven't seen him do stand up in a few years now, but his act at the time was so like wouldn't have crossed a single line on that list.
Oh, yeah.
It was so middle of the road. Russia and England are different.
It
would have had no impact on his set at all. There was nothing.
You know what I
conversational about
sometimes
him.
wonder? I sometimes wonder if he just used that as a way to capture a certain audience, and he was just more thinking about the business than anything else. And it's almost like he was very close with someone who'd worked a lot in the media, and they were able to just manipulate the media given the wording of a press release. If you know how to work, I mean, I assume that I don't think that's what happened. I just
John's
think
got some
that
inside
might have
info.
happened.
I think he's a pretty smart dude, and
I
all
know,
things
I don't-
considered,
I think
Yeah,
he's
like,
very
it's what-
ambitious.
to
Yeah,
get
it
to
was-
where he is in that
100%.
space of time, yeah, it's pretty impressive.
It's
This is a good email I had.
What are you reading the email now, Joe? Are you very angry?
Oh my god, he's put the whole email in the private chat.
Oh, did you put the whole email in the private
Oh,
chat?
gotcha.
Just while we were talking about, because Konstantin he got put on a student gig,
Yeah.
and they said, like, can you just sign this behavioral clause? And really, like, I think you basically unwittingly sign a behavioral clause anytime you do any gig. It's about respecting the vibe and whoever, blah blah blah. He like put it everywhere, and I got that saying, long story
That
short, I
is-
think it's too white. I'd already been booked for it, but if I put that on Twitter, that would probably fuck off.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but
but
then what kind of fans would you
fans,
get?
exactly. What I also like
Yeah,
about this
yeah.
email is I gotta say this is very diplomatically run, and also for a UK booker, he has done something that I never saw in 6 years of being canceled. Is he offered you another date right
Mhm.
there? This is I have that never
Yeah.
in the UK.
No.
Literally, the kid could be canceled because the promoter murdered my family. That's the reason the
Yeah.
shit is my family. And then if you the next email is, so can we put another date in the diary? At best, you're getting a response. What's with all the rushing? What's
Yeah.
with all the business of our email relate? Like it's just
I mean,
I
I only got that ever once, and I heard it from my agent because I was up for like a show that I've dreamed of doing my whole life, and they came back with sorry, we're not booking white guys, and I'll put it
Oh, he's
here.
got. Ah man, that's unfortunate.
And they were
That's
like,
not
yeah,
even-
Chris, they were like, Chris would be perfect for that, but we're not doing white guys.
that's not
Oh.
even the reason. That's not
I was
even the
like,
reason,
all right,
Chris. That's because
enough.
that they lied to you to your face.
No, they lied
And-
to me through my agent's face.
The actual reason is that show doesn't book Canadians as a grant reason. They
Oh.
anytime like it drives me crazy. Anytime a promoter says, "Oh no, it's because you're a white guy," they are lying. That's not the real reason.
Explain.
That's not the real
Elaborate.
reason. That what you didn't get booked for when they say they're not booking white guys?
Yeah.
To get the grant to make that entire thing possible,
Yeah.
they have to have certain things that are for Canadians and certain things that aren't for Canadians.
Okay.
That show is not for Canadians. They like can't let Canadians do it. They have a whole other show called the of Canada,
Yeah.
or the of Canada. That's why
Oh
they
shit.
lied to you. They 100% lied to you
Why would they
Wow.
tell that lie?
because you can't ask a follow-up question. You can't go, but you can. That's why they do it. It's bullshit. It's
That's so
and
weird.
by the way, because these fucking people can't just be honest, they're helping racism. That's how fun show business is. I can't be confrontational openly. Well, I better just help racism then. Are you fucked? Are you actually fucked?
By the way, what John means by helping racism is giving white guys a victim complex.
Yes.
Yeah, which helps
Just so everyone
racism
listening
more.
understands what
Just to be 100% clear, and that is, we do not need that.
Yeah.
That's the last thing white dudes need, because we already have it relatively unnecessarily.
Yeah.
I just realized that there's barbecue sauce on my glass. I had like it was on my burger.
Yesterday was cheese in the hair. Today it's barbecue sauce on the glass. Get your shit together.
I'm a mess.
Yeah. Too far,
Oh,
actually.
no.
Yeah. This is why women shouldn't be on comedy, because you just show up with dirty water glasses.
What am I,
do you have any-
Irish?
Joe, do you have
Yeah.
any particular standout memories, or how did you feel about doing the open mics in London? Because you started in London, whereas like I started in Montreal and then I moved
Yeah.
there. But like that was your from ground zero. That was you. How do you feel about it?
Man, I loved it, but
Did you, Joe? Did you love it?
not always. But yeah, it was really fun. I know that. I think everyone always says the same thing. I wouldn't like to start now.
Mm.
But when I started, it wasn't much better. There were no women. Everybody was
Yeah.
trying to be Frankie Boyle or Stuart Lee. So there was
Yeah.
literally rape jokes on the circuit. Like
So
literally.
many. So
Oh my
many.
People
god,
would-
so many.
People were trying to they were like, my rape joke's the best. And there were no women. Everyone.
I would have killed back then.
No. You would have been you would have been murdered by John Sharp.
You didn't
know what
hear
would've
my
killed?
rape joke.
Your rape fantasy joke. That would.
Yeah, your rape fantasy joke would have killed.
She's got the best rape joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I used to go to, like, the thing I'm astonished is how I ever left the open mics, because how do you fucking, I don't know. It took me about 5 years to be like semi-decent, really. But I remember, I think what I did was I was just pushing myself to get bigger gigs because of ego.
Mm.
Not because I was any good, but I was thinking like, my wanking jokes are revolutionary. The store
They
must.
are.
They need to hit that. Thank you. They are now. They weren't
I think
always.
how you get a bit better though is that you kind of
Yeah.
I think to a certain degree you have to take gigs that are beyond your skill or your
Yeah, yeah.
level. You have to
Yeah.
Have
keep
a
taking the
crushing
ones that are
death.
ahead of you.
Except there's only one person who didn't view their comedy career that way and had to be yelled at for a year about that. I want you to guess. Yeah, it was this fucking dum right up here. It was like, no, I gotta figure it out by doing.
So many. John, Garrett,
That one.
Millerick, Pierre
Oh.
Novelli, just general people that I would meet would be like, stop doing open mics. And I was like, never, from my cold, dead hands.
My frustration was when you were like, but I'm not good enough to do a weekend. And I was literally doing weekend comedy in 2012 and 2013, which is very
Most people aren't good enough to do
Yeah.
weekends.
It's when so many clubs dug in their heels and are like, we got to protect all of these headliners from the 90s. So you're doing a fucking highlight with Tim Clark. And you're just like, wait a minute.
I forgot about Tim Clark.
Yeah, you're just like, yeah, I was about to really reveal a secret about that guy where I was like, don't say that. You're not supposed to say that.
Yeah, no, I had a whole thing about it. I was like, I have to be
I mean, who
ready.
knows?
But I should have jumped out years earlier.
I don't know that person, but that's great.
I was so close to just dropping that. Like, I was so close to just ruining so many people's lives.
And that's
Oh,
such a
I
non
know.
sequitur as well. It's just like a fun fact. Just-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Fun
come back in a
fact.
second. I'm gonna change my
But
background.
devastating.
Yeah.
Oh,
'Cause
man.
Joe, did you have a moment where you're like, I'm done with these open mics forever? Was it when you and Andy Zapp were hanging out near Alfie Noakes? These are all people from the London Open Mic series.
Yeah, more or less. It was the shows I've done, some of them are so fucking funny, man. Like, for being awful. I did one in an actual hospital once. And the kid
Go
just
on.
booked it. You know, you just show up to any gig.
Yeah.
So I said, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
it's in a hospital. It's in Harrow Hospital, and it was literally in the operating theatre, like like where they watch student doctors would watch the thing. It's like is that the right phrase? The
Yeah.
operating.
The operating theater's the name. Yeah.
And it was in there. The only other gig on was, I remember David Mills was the headliner, and he was just sat in a room waiting, and there was no audience. Then 2 people arrived, and then the guy said, "Let's start the show." And I said, "Who the fuck are these people?" And they said, "Oh, guilty. We're the parents." He just brought his mum and dad. They were the only audience. That's
What?
It's around those points. Shit like that. But they're the stories.
Awful.
Yeah.
And I said, "I'm not doing this." I did it, I think.
Yeah, of course you did.
Yeah.
We all did it. We all did it.
That's awful.
But I tell you what, like I do, even for better or worse, I don't really kind of have too much. I like to know a comic has been through the trenches because it makes me respect them a bit more. I don't like it when they have a clear ascension, beautiful rooms, easy work. Come on, I want to know about I want you to fucking.
So what you're saying is, while
suffer.
Ashley was telling her story, you were like,
You were very
asshole.
upset.
Fuck
you
you.
fucking.
Handed on a bloody plate.
Hey, you know what? I've had life trauma to make up for it.
Yeah, to be fair,
Yeah,
everything
Joe-
else for her has been so hard.
Joe, I'm gonna just I'm not to tell Ashley's story in a sentence, but I will. The woman you're looking at right there, she one time her mom put an Allen key in her mouth and broke her jaw. Now there's more to that story, but you're not letting me hear it. Just understand we don't know from suffering for that woman. All right,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna knock your journey.
Yeah.
Your journey is your journey.
yeah, but you can knock everyone else's
I should
journey
also
but
say,
Ashley's.
like, I haven't yet been to London, and I might crash and burn on the London open mic scene.
Yeah.
Everyone
Also,
does
I don't
do
know. I don't really know you like that. The people that I have issues with are the ones that I sort of that kind of just danced on the open mic, and then suddenly they're like they're on a panel show. They're the ones that wind me up. If I don't know you, it's not so bad. You're
I know
dealing
what you're
with someone.
saying. I once remember realizing where I was like, oh, I was just never. I always enjoyed when that happened because eventually I was just like, oh, I don't want to be on those things, and I'm never going to be that person because it's also you realize you're like, oh, the reason why they grab them so early is that they like for a producer that's perfect because it's just like, oh, you just look really. I can fill you up with whatever I need as a television personality, so you're just going for a different gig. But that's what no one tells you. Also, is that like. I was in an open mic because I wanted to be a comedian. Some people are at an open mic because they want to be on television. And I just didn't know that there was a mental distinction between the two. It did take me a lot of therapy and about 4 years to get to this place of acceptance. Before that, I was just like, hey, how about you can fuck off? If you haven't fucking killed in Manchester, you don't deserve to be on 8 out of 10 melons have QI.
Yeah. Speaking of guys that just don't deserve their success, Gareth Waugh just entered
Gareth
Gareth
Waugh.
fuck himself. What a
Gareth Waugh
bastard.
He's probably on one of those weird Scottish radio panel shows, like how many melons at the market or meat bag.
You know what got me over that anger
Gareth?
of people succeeding real quick? Because like there were a couple people that came out of the mics with Joe and I that was like we would be doing the Cavi and John and Chris's gig, and then all of a sudden it was like they're working at the store, they were on TV or something. We're like, how the fuck did this happen?
Who
He was
was
bombing
that
with the rest of us?
Who was that
And
out of your crew that did that? Because I know
There
who
were
was doing.
there
it
were
out
a
of-
couple. I'll put the names in here. But what? So originally I was like, what the fuck is this? And we've all got our jealousy issues, and but then what struck me as I watched it happen a few times was so what ends up happening
That
is-
second person, I mean, we've mentioned this before, but I just can't.
Yeah, so many
Those-
people can't, but that's why it happens is like, so they blow up because someone goes, I can do something with that. And they're still sort of
Mhm.
unformed. So I can, like John was saying, mold it into something.
Yeah.
But then they don't last because they don't have the chops. And so
Mhm.
they're up and you see them on everything for about 6 months, maybe a year. And then they're just gone. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, now I'm not mad about it. Now I almost feel bad for them.
The
If that-
same thing happened to me. The exact same thing happened to me. You see
Really?
it
those
quick.
with those two people.
Not those two people, other people, because it's like I eventually, I think I was doing comedy 10 years and got my first bit of TV on, it was like I did it 2019 on Channel 4, and I had
Nice.
like a really good show, did the business, smashed it, so happy with the clip. And I remember thinking it had to happen this way. Like as much as at 3 years in, I'm like, man, I deserve to just be chatting my shit on whatever, but it would have been bad. False start, poor material, it just would have stunted you.
Yeah.
What works for other people doesn't work for everyone else.
Yeah, and it doesn't work for most of them. Like most of them
No.
aren't doing that anymore. You know, they either had to build their own thing, which is the second name, and the first one is, you know, has just been
I have
complaining for years.
I have a distinction about the first name in that thing. I almost want to say I'm not going to, because that person, the reason why everyone was jealous of them is that person just bullshitted and lied about what they were getting. That person got one TV spot and had big management for a bit, but I immediately pointed
Is that
this
the
out.
first or second person?
First person.
Yeah.
That person would show up at gigs and tell everyone all the things they were doing.
Yeah, I remember that.
And they stopped because I started just saying to him, I said to him, I'll never forget, but top secret. And he told me everything. And I went, oh, because you told me where you were playing last weekend when you did this last Monday. And he was like, what are you talking? No, Gareth. Gareth, I start the bidding at £5. The money Gareth donates to hear the name will be given to a random person in the chat. Do not tell him, Ashley. Do not tell him.
You read me too quickly.
Do not fucking tell him. Gareth, it starts at £5. That £5 could be going to Richard. It could be going to Tiger. It could be going to Baldy. I could give it to Gareth. I could also give it to My Name is Ruins. I could give it to C Dead's Peeps. For that name. Anyway, that person,
because I love Gareth. I just
damn you. I put that. Well, it just cost Tiger £5.
I will say, just real quick plug for Gareth's new podcast that came out today. Two G's in a pod. Gareth Wall and Gareth Much. Go check it out.
Thank you.
I like that. Did Gareth Munch ever get his voice fixed? Anyway, that guy just would tell people what he was doing. I'm serious. Gareth Munch had a crazy voice problem for like
Gareth
3 years.
Munch.
Gareth Munch. Oh, sorry, whatever. The name Gareth is Yeah, he did get his voice fixed. Thank you, Gareth.
Okay.
Oh, now Richard's messaging me for the fucking info, and because you guys, I'm telling Richard because this isn't fair, and you guys started this.
Yeah, and Richard was in the mics with us while this was happening.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Richard does need to know, and but that guy then stopped. If you'll notice, that guy's No, but see, this has gotten too far now.
You guys know the rules. Private chat stays in the private chat.
Yeah,
Except
but
for
comedians, sometimes if the comedian knows the people, then we're happy to toss it over.
Let's talk about one that everyone knows then. What about Monkey with a Gun?
Russ
Oh,
Monkey with a Gun.
Did
So
you guys
we've
do
we've talked
open
about
mics?
him? Yeah, we used to gig with him all the time. So
Yes, I know
we've talked about him a couple times. But Joe, what was your walk us through knowing him, hearing about it?
Before Joe knows this, Richard Wright, possibly the nicest person in England, possibly the only English person should be saved from my eventual murder, all the English genocide I'm planning on hatching. Sorry, Joe, you got to go. His reaction to the name was fantastic. It was just a misspelled, oh, fuck, and then just written. Very good.
it was a great time. It was kind of like JFK for our generation. We all know where we were.
Yeah.
The only thing I liked about it, the writing was on the wall because he'd been to prison for being a bit of a pedo, other shit. But what I remember about him so clearly was he used to use his grooming abilities after doing a shit open mic where he would sort of groom all the acts that were on. I don't know if you remember this, Chris. He'd do like a big write-up of like TNT on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And just say like some dog shit open mic was like, he goes, it was absolutely phenomenal to watch an up-and-coming young scamp deliver brilliant puns. It really certainly warmed the cockles of the audience. He's one to watch for sure. And obviously they all go, oh, thanks, Russ with a gun. Thank you, really appreciate it. So he was grooming, warming people up. And I remember when it all hit the fan, and it was the Daily Mail article that did it. And it was him with all these famous comedians, and he was always
yeah.
with everybody. Yeah,
it's like John Bishop and
The
Peter
Phil
Jay
Gibbons one. The one is with Phil
Gibbons
Gibbons is the one because Phil Gibbons was not smiling, and Russ Monkey with a Gun was like,
I remember the thing I remember is when it all kicked off. I remember sending him a DM just saying like, "You all right?" And he goes, "No, I think I'm gonna have to leave now." That was last I heard of it.
What he used to. Do you remember he had like He had So he had like a young comic. He was like a very
yeah.
sort of pretty young man.
What?
Who looked
Yeah,
young,
yeah, yeah.
looked kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah,
child,
yeah.
just
I don't-
hanging out. And it
And
was
then
always like
he
they
never
were
did a show
buddies.
again. Yeah, he never did a show again after that.
Yeah, we haven't seen him since. He was all right. He was like, he had a couple jokes, but he was like a really nice guy. And I was always like, why are you hanging out with Russ? And then the news came out. We all went, oh, that's why Russ is hanging out with you. Oh no. Yeah, it was super.
Do you remember when Russ said that he might? Do you know what? I wish I had the final screen, like the final status he did when he said he was going to do an Edinburgh show about it all.
What?
That's what he said when it all came out, and he's tried to do a bit of damage limitation before it really hit the fan. He basically just goes, "Look, a news article is circulating about me. There is some truth to it. Obviously, it's a bit more complicated. Eventually, maybe, who knows? I'll get up to the Fringe and do a big show about it all and let everyone know the real side." And then someone underneath just went, "Mate, you were jailed for paedophilia. We don't want to see the show about it."
Can I just say this is something that kind of weirdly has jogged my head in that a lot of London open micers, and actually this is fascinating. I think you're going to have your mind. They think doing an hour in Edinburgh gets rid of so many ills and sets the record straight. Like allegedly, supposedly, there was a guy who ran an open mic in London and defrauded people for tens of thousands of pounds because he was going to open up an open mic comedy club and then use the money to buy a bunch of bicycles.
went on vacation.
That is the weirdest scam.
You're right. Yeah,
Went on
just that guy
vacation has allegedly has quite a coke problem.
Massive Yeah. That's exactly who it was.
100%.
Yeah.
It was.
That
I
guy, by the
remember
way,
that guy. I used to do his shows all the time because he gave me tons of stage, and he always had a crowd. Like I don't know how he fucking managed to do it, but there was always a crowd in that show, which was rare doing shows back then. And then one day he sent me a message after all that had happened, and I'd been working professionally for a while now, and he's like, "Hey, I'm opening this new stuff. I'd love to have you in. I'll pay you for it." And I just didn't answer him because I was like, I don't need this. And he sent me an email a month later being like, I thought we were closer than this. I don't understand why did I offend you somehow? And I wanted to be like, you defrauded dozens of my friends. You're such an asshole.
I wonder, did he have that sent out to the same email response to loads of people though?
Yes, he did, because I got one when I canceled his fucking Canada Day gig.
Oh,
and then he responded with, "This is incredibly unprofessional." And then I saw him in real life, and I was like, "Hey, sorry about that, man. Just like try to meet us." He's like, "Yeah, just as long as you know, you made a huge mistake, and this is going to affect your career." And thank God for Brendan Burns being kind of a doesn't know how to handle situations asshole. Just went, "Hey, man, don't talk to him that way. He's a real comedian. Who the fuck are you?" And by the way, we're at a chortle event where there could have been way more important people that Brendan didn't know, but Brendan's that was so fucking fun. And the guy was like, "What?" And he was like, he's like, "Oh, Brendan Burns, I want to book you for your gig." And he's like, "Oh, you got a gig? I'll do your gig." I do remember that. Brendan then was like, "Fuck you." He was like, "Oh, you got a gig? Yeah, all right." Noncing back.
I remember doing that Canada Day show. Paul Meyerhog just cussed him out for his whole set.
Oh my God, that was
20 minutes
so
just cussing him out. We were all fucked. All the Canadians were in the back, just hammered. And Paul just went, "You know what? Fuck you." And just spent 20 minutes, no jokes, ripped on the booker, got off stage.
Oh, it was so good. Hilarious. He was just like, "I can't wait for the show to be over so I can talk to you more." And then I just remember that Paul going, "And you can touch my back weirdly. You're a back toucher. Fuck you." And it was just so fucked up. Oh my God. I remember that because I arrived afterwards. Me and my girlfriend at the time ran into you and your now wife at Liverpool Street Station. We stood there talking for like half an hour. It's one of my happiest memories of that relationship. And then there are other memories.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
By the way, can I plug something that's relevant to this?
Please
Absolutely,
do, Joe.
absolutely.
Plug everything.
Get the fuck out, Joe. No, I'm so Joe. Joe, no, Joe, stay, just stay, Joe.
Can I post a link in the main comments? Is there a thing?
If you put that in the private chat, I'll make sure make sure it gets everywhere.
It's my top 5 gigs, top 5 worst gigs I've ever done, and that I have filmed. One of them.
Can we watch this together, all of us, right now, for the last part of the show?
Sure, if you want, but we can
Ashley?
chat.
Ashley, Chris, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm into it.
I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I want to see if I know the venues.
I do a commentary on some of them. I don't know.
Great.
I don't
Get
know
a
if
play.
it'll be.
Joe,
And if it
Is there
doesn't-
any potential copyright material in it?
Oh, no.
I Ashley, I will fight anyone who comes after us for the copyright. I have the phone numbers of the people that can come after us. Chris and I.
No, I mean, like,
have
you
this-
could have added music over it.
Basically, like, you don't have to watch it all, but the one that you should maybe check out is like if you go to where is it?
I'm gonna be
Yeah,
right
just
back
go
when
to-
you find it.
Go
No,
to
I want to
Free
watch the whole thing. I already see, like, I want to watch the whole thing. I already see the backdrop of a fucking London open micy thing. Like, oh no, let's watch the whole thing.
and Fine.
How long is it? Oh, it's only 5 minutes. Yeah,
It's
let's
only
do
5
this.
minutes. Yeah, it's gonna take us
This
a long
will take
time
up the
to
last
get
hour of the show.
there. Yeah, for sure. Like,
This is my attempt, by the way. During lockdown 1, I decided I wanted to be a YouTuber, and I made.
how
one
did that
video.
go? There was the link is in the chat on our Twitch stream. There's the link right there.
How did it go?
Cool.
It's on 622 views.
Dead. I've been thinking back on some of my gigs that I've done over the years. I've performed to people in an operating theatre in a hospital. I once performed in Amsterdam last year, and a bodybuilder threatened to murder.
Okay, before I would like to hear that story. Is that story covered in this video, Joe?
What, the operating theatre or or Amsterdam?
Amsterdam.
No, Amsterdam. I was booked by a guy to do
And this is
one
why this will take an hour. Let's go.
did one show in Amsterdam, and it was crazy because it was a complete dog shit show. But I was on last. I was the headliner, and you know when a show is so terrible, all you can do as an act is address the chaos
Yes.
and get everyone on side, just laughing at how stupid it is. To the person that might not appreciate what you're doing, it sounds like which you are, just degrading the night, slagging off the promoter, slagging off the other acts, which I wasn't doing. I was just trying to keep it fucking alive. I couldn't. It was so chaotic. There was no other way to do it. Anyway, during my show, there was some guy right at the back of the room who was massive, and he said, he was basically, it was hard to make it all up, but he was basically saying, I've been doing comedy 5 years. Your act is the fucking worst I've ever seen. I'm going to fucking kill you after this. I'm going to fucking stab you after this. And I'm saying, he's screaming it, and I'm saying, all right, just keep the heckles to a minimum. All right, let's just catch up at the end of the show. Everyone's laughing at this guy, and I've got the audience on side, but at the same time, the guy is threatening me with murder. And I'm looking at the promoter. Like, oh, are you going to ask him to leave? Maybe. No. He's just going to ignore it and continue on. So that's what that was. Yeah.
Jesus.
And I had to run out the side for that afterwards.
Joe,
Who was
just a
that
quick
comedian?
question.
Can you put that in the private chat, or do you just want to say their name?
Some
I don't
fucking
know who
Dutch
he
guy.
was.
You don't
No.
know? Oh, okay. Shit.
No idea. Someone with mental
Bill-
illness.
Bill Tulips.
Fuck.
This coming in from Baldy 3. Did you struggle for originality?
What? For who?
That's a
Yeah.
joke, John. That's an inside joke he's never gonna get. That's not-
I know.
I don't think Ashley gets that inside
I
joke.
don't
I'm gonna.
get that.
What I realize is we haven't shown that video in a while.
Yeah.
After Joe's done this, we can watch that actual literal nightmare.
That was
once
one of the
again.
coldest edits I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my god, it's so fucking.
Joe, were you in Cesar's documentary about the Lion's Den?
I don't think I was actually, but it's funny because when I started, I met Sweet Steve there. I'm sure you guys all know about Sweet Steve.
We have not talked enough about
I
Sweet
don't know who
Steve.
Sweet
I
to be honest.
don't think I know Sweet Steve.
Sweet Steve
You
was
don't-
like this cabbie, and he used to go to the Lions Den every Tuesday, and he would do the same exact set every single week. And for a new comedian to see that for the first time, and everybody is pissing themselves, they know the punchlines, they know what's coming. You think you're in the presence of a god, but when you see it like the 50th time, you're like, okay, this guy is suffering from severe illness, and he shouldn't be encouraged. But I was going to do a documentary about Sweet Steve at one point, because I thought it's so funny that he just does only one gig, only the same set, and he's been going there for about 10, 15 years, but he died, so I didn't get a chance to do it.
I want
Too
you
much
all
work
to know
anyway.
I have a video of Sweet Steve right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Get it
what?
up. Get it
All
up.
right.
You want to, before we get to Joe's?
I don't remember this guy at all, but I stopped doing Lion's Den. Was the first gig that I did when I moved to London, because it was when you looked up open mics on Google.
It's
that's
the first
what fucking
one,
came up. And I remember going, and I think I did it once, and Tim got me up at the end, and I did well. And then I didn't want to go because I didn't want to pay, because it was a pay to play thing. And a couple times he would put me up and be like, he'd be like, "Oh, you already put your £5 in, right?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." Walk through. So like, he could be really cool, but I didn't want to. It felt like a weird thing to be a part of, even though Tim was like a fucking sweetheart. But I just didn't I didn't like that.
He booked me to headline, and then he clarified if he booked me to headline. He clarified that I would pay 10 minutes before I was supposed to head out to the gig. And I went, "I'm not paying to do a gig." And he went, "Wait, what?" But I said to my friends that there's an international comedian coming. And I was like, "I don't know what to tell you, man. I just won't pay then." And he was like, "Well, no, you got to pay." And I was like, "All right, I'm going to stay home and hang out with Ryan Cull." Ashley, that is not Sweet Steve.
No, is that James Loveridge?
James Loveridge.
I think that is James Loveridge.
I think that's James.
Yes, call back. We
need to get James on the show, by the way.
We do.
James Loveridge filmed my first ever gig at the Lion's Den.
No way. For the
King's
record.
Cross venue, yeah.
Oh, that story involving the name of James Loveridge has nothing to do with my true love and admiration for that man. I love this. I love James Loveridge. He's great. I wish he was around more often. Let's watch young, sweet James Loveridge.
Impossible. This guy! I would not believe we
Yeah, this is the Lion's Den I remember.
Please enjoy the experience. Can you be serious?
Who's yelling? Who's yelling? Can you be serious? Is that just someone?
I don't recognize the voice.
It's just like a boys' club of fucking idiots. No one's funny. Everyone's depressed.
Surely it's not. I think each week goes on, this gets harder and harder. Please enjoy the interesting that the ever.
Holy shit! Richard is like the fucking. Okay, before we watch Sweet Steve, and I will not stop it during when Sweet Steve gets on. Can we just talk about how Richard Wright is the fucking Rosetta Stone of London open mics?
Yeah, he's a historian. He knows it all. He's seen us all come and go. He's gonna write the greatest book that no one will read.
Do you know who? You know in The Wire, the guy who the black guy who's on the team who got fucked over, and they just put him in the shit job because he can't get overtime. That's who Richard Wright is. The man's gotten to Richard Wright. Chris is McNulty.
Lester
Freeman.
Lester. Fuck
yeah.
I met Lester at the Fringe once because he's got a son called Joseph Jacobs.
Is he as cool as he seems?
Oh yeah. Of course
Dude,
he is.
Seems awesome.
Clark Peters, legend.
Do you also know that if you get to here's the thing, I'm just a John Harp who nice to people. That is not true. Richard Wright. Richard Wright, no. Yeah.
We do not love John Sharp.
No. Oh God. I don't know what Sweet Steve is. Let's enjoy this.
Young James.
This is
not what I was picturing. Not what I was picturing.
No, me neither.
I love you. I love you too. Marry me.
Tonight, I'm going to do my impression of Lady Gaga.
This is wild.
Now, before I start, there's a couple of things. One is that as a male hetero, doing an impression of a female is very, very difficult.
What is that pause?
And
I mean, I know I said I wouldn't pause it, but
no one believed you. No one believed you when you said that.
That was like. Also, did anyone else get very nervous when he went as a hetero? I was like, "Where's this going, Steve? Where's this going?"
Hetero and female? Bad look. Yeah.
Yeah. Get ready for a lot of pauses. He goes to the beat of his own drum, man.
That was the longest pause, and not for a laugh.
Such a long pause.
That was crazy.
Clark,
where is it? I need to remember. There was a comedian. Fuck. I watched. That's it. I'm gonna just put something else because someone just said that's how people dressed.
Gareth. That's how he dressed in 2011. A young Gareth Waugh. So sharp.
I just saw this video the other day, and the guy. I mean, forget the material, but the way it all started reminded me of what every comedian looked like when I begun. this lark. Just the compare of this. Just put it to the beginning and just look at the compare after Sweet Steve. There's so many distractions. Anyway.
All right.
Sorry, yeah.
Hit play, John.
Back to Steve.
Oh my God! I can't believe. Do you? Oh my God!
Oh,
What?
that's very funny. That
What you
guy,
watching?
that guy. I just took a look. I did a lot of shows with that guy. And do you remember he used to have that Scotland bit, and it had a bottle opener in the cap, and he opened with it every show for like 3 years.
I don't know how I even got that video.
Oh my God, that guy drove me nuts.
Oh, this guy sucks. I
right.
remember I broke.
It's really bad.
I broke this guy's mind. This is one of the meanest things I've ever done. He walked up, but he started it. So when I got the
Great.
He walked up to me and said, "How the fuck did you get the comedy reserve?" And I said, "Because I'm better at comedy than you." And he went, "What?" And then just what?
These are facts. Peter at the downstairs of the King's Head, only one that books that guy anymore.
No shit.
Yeah,
He's
Peter's
This is great. I love slagging off comics. I need to do this more often. This is
It's
I
so
live for
fun,
this.
man.
This
We
is
love it.
all
So
our show
much.
is.
I got videos, man. I got a backlog of favorited videos. You don't even know. Everything.
I mean, because also, by the way, the video we're talking about, the main guy, you wanted to just show us the MC of that?
Yeah, who I don't know who it is.
I
like,
do.
Oh,
I've worked
really?
with that guy, and I will tell you all right, let's get through Steve, and then I have a story that's going to cause you all to
Just
think about
really
suicide.
quickly before we move on, while we're speaking about slagging comics, Gareth Ward just sent me a photograph of himself in 2011. He really did dress like this.
Good God.
Who the fuck is that MC?
Konstantin Kisin still
Gareth.
dresses like that. That's his whole look.
Fuck you, Gareth.
Look at his sweet little baby face.
Yeah,
Look at his stupid
You know what I
jacket.
like about this though? It's still I can still say that's our Gareth underneath because I guarantee he has that look that Gareth gets where he's really winding someone up, and I enjoy it. Only thing I crush more than gigs was
if
puss.
you
Goddamn right, bro.
move our heads out of the way, you will see how long his jeans are.
Those are some
And they're
deep
rolled
cuff
up
spots. Those are
unevenly as well.
Oh, look at those shoes, bro.
They're like little elf shoes.
Oh, buddy.
No laces too, you fuck.
Oh, that's boot cut, baby.
That's
Yeah.
so funny. He's
Gareth,
got dad going to
Flowing
watch
Mud.
the Six Nations.
Six Nations look. Hey, everyone has a short leg. Coming from Tiger, everyone has a short leg. Great stuff. All right, let's go back to making fun of the dead man.
I don't have any feminine traits or sympathy with women.
This is the
Sorry,
best
can I hear that again?
example of open mic
Yes.
comedy I've seen in a while.
Also, I want
worth-
to say this
also
right
worth
now.
noting one thing. You got the people laughing. They're laughing because they've seen this 50 times. It's not because he's good. So any audience is thinking, what the fuck is going on here? This is not that funny. But they just are encouraging him. They just encourage him. He's not good.
The other-
He'll never be
The
good.
other thing is if you walked into this room with a gun and just killed all of the comedians in the audience minus Joe, Brexit doesn't happen. I want you to know Brexit doesn't happen, and possibly 8chan isn't as toxic. Like
You leave James Leverage out of this. You leave
James Leverage would also be saved. James Leverage and Joe Jacobs, I would be like, I'd be like Cable in Deadpool 2. I'd jump out of a portal. I'm cut, as I already am. And I'd point at Joe, and I would point at Richard, and I would point at James Leverage, and I'd be like, get in the portal, boys. You're coming with me. And then everyone else would be like, what about us? I'm like, sorry, chuds, time to die. I guarantee you could kill 10 people in that room, and even less people would be at their funerals than were attending Lions Den Comedy Club that day. Not all of them. I guarantee 2. I guarantee 2 of them would be like, I haven't seen this few people since we were at the comedy club where they were murdered by that Time Warrior.
Yeah.
Ooh, tough
Hey, I got a
crowd.
question for Richard Wright if he's still there. Were you ever at the Lions Den anniversary show when Steve Bennett was reviewing it? And I can't remember which comedian it was, but someone literally spent the whole 5 minutes of their set just screaming at Steve Bennett, calling him a wanker and a cunt.
Is that the one that Johnny
Fucking
Vegas
review-
did?
No, it sounds like a Vegas thing, but it was just
From
another act.
what year do you think this happened, Joe? Because I haven't come. I can't have the review.
Yeah,
up
were you on
from-
that?
on 2015.
Yeah, I don't know who the act was. It was. I seem to recall someone just because we were all finding it funny that Steve Bennett was reviewing like the 10th anniversary of the Lions Den. Everybody
It is
dying.
It's not the 10th.
Yeah.
It's not the 10th. It's the 8th.
That's so
Oh,
funny.
okay.
Oh my God. Let me just see if he brings up. Okay, this sentence is crazy. The handful of genuine punters who came might have felt a little like interlopers, entertained and baffled
You
in
got it.
equal measure by in-jokes not meant for them. There were a lot of gags, about how setups weren't right or the audience reaction muted, which are an almost inevitable part of a new material or new act night. Most comics mention the elephant or reviewer in the room, but otherwise, analogy with the biblical lion's den doesn't really work since it's not lions being fed into a layer of lions, more supportive than scary. Oh, I want to know who yelled at him. Oh my God, we got some. I'm not going to bring this up actually because there's a couple of people. Let's put it this way: I hilariously just read the bill, and they're all people we've mentioned in the private chat.
No, share me that
Well,
link.
one.
Put that
Well,
goddamn
one.
link in the private
One.
chat.
There's only one.
Put it in
Oh,
private
yeah.
chat. I'll tell you
Yeah,
who
put
it
in
is.
private chat. I want to read
It's
the
the
whole.
it's the
It's
funniest
no one good.
one. It was the funniest one that comes up right away when he's reviewing the bill.
That's so funny.
8th birthday.
Hit play on Sweet Steve. I want to hear more of his. Holy shit! The picture alone, I forgot about that act.
Who was that act?
That was Candy Gigi.
Candy Gigi. Holy shit!
Yeah, actually,
Oh,
she had her own.
Listen. This wasn't the one I'm at. This is a fucking amazing lineup, man.
What's nice
is-
though is, yes, the names in the private chat are on there. The names that aren't on the private chat are on there. So there's enough of a confusion,
Yeah.
and you'll never know for sure which ones are which.
Let's put it in the main chat then.
Yeah.
Ashley, that sounds absolutely correct.
I mean,
There we go. It's in there. Yeah. Feel free to guess who the act we were talking about was out of that flowing mullet.
also, luckily, we've talked about a lot of acts. Some are there, some are not there. Let's watch more Sweet Steve.
Yes.
Very, very difficult.
Yeah! I believe in you.
And I don't have any feminine traits or sympathy with women. And just because I'm doing an impression of Lady Gaga doesn't mean that I'm gay. Now, I'm saying that because, like, tomorrow night you might be with someone and it's like, what did you do last night? Oh, I saw Sweet Steve, what happened? You did an impression of Lady Gaga. I didn't know Sweet Steve was gay. So, I went on voyage.
It's such a weird community.
I'm Lady Gaga. And I am the sun
Thanks, Joe.
in the pop music solar system.
Spot on. There it's Steve. Meta comedy.
Now, some people say that
It's like
I'm
you're
crazy.
there. You really are.
Yeah, I think I've seen enough. I think I'm
Who
good.
is it?
Yeah.
You
Okay.
get it.
This is a nightmare.
It's not
Um,
even good for anti-comedy. It's just
just
a waste of time.
I'm glad that
Can
we
I
watched
just-
it because like that gives the audience such a real view of what it is to do open mics in London. Like that was not an exception. That was the rule.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh no. Richard Wright is another of the actors who seemed to place expressing his self-pity 31. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Richard Wright. I should have read the end of that before bringing it up. I thought it was going to be, oh, I'm sorry. Well, fuck that fucking review, bro.
Hang on, Richard, don't worry about it. I got Steve Bennetted when I was in the final of Leicester Square. I like, it was like the most important show to me ever. I was thinking this could be it. This could be it. I did all right, fine. But Steve Bennett reviewed everybody positively. And when it got to me, he just goes, Joseph Jacobs was the worst on the bill of an otherwise stellar lineup. Something like that. Just read it and I just went,
Oh,
oh no.
whatever.
Jesus. Reading this review is wild because I'd forgotten about almost all these people. because I haven't
I see.
seen them in years, and some of them are like working comics now. But you know how it is, like when you're working, you see people even less because
Yeah.
they're all fucking dotted around the country. But fucking Robin Perkins, haven't seen her in fucking ages.
She's running gigs and totally happy and great.
Yeah, good. Yeah, she was running. Oh yeah, that one in South London. Kate
Yeah.
Weston, forgot about her.
She's just put out a couple books.
No shit.
Yeah,
That's
children's
awesome. Good for
author.
her.
Yeah,
Nice. That's great. I remember her coming into a show, and because she was working in a bookstore, and she was just really amped because Stuart Lee and Bridget Christie had come in with their kids, because I guess it was in their neighborhood. She was so excited that they were in. It was very sweet. Yeah, Candy Gigi, Mark Silcox. Mark Silcox was on this show. Everyone's favorite comedian,
I mean,
Mark
that's really
Silcox.
great.
You know, did I know? I saw Mark. I gave him a show at my gig because I saw Mark flyering in August past because he said he misses the Fringe. He was flyering in Oxford Street willingly for one of his little open mic shows he was doing, like a few.
Buddy.
That's
few
really
months ago.
sad.
Sad. I was like, oh man, the guy inspires me. When I was in Edinburgh Fringe 2016, having like a really tough mental breakdown, I went and saw Mark Silcox's show.
Mark
Yes.
Silcox can cure you.
When he made The Egg for the first time, and I'm not joking, there was 5 people in that room. I swear to you guys, it was the greatest show I've ever seen, and it saved me and inspired me. And I'm not fucking, no exaggeration.
I genuinely love that show.
I think
I've seen
it
it 4
got
times.
0 stars out of whatever. It changed the way I think about everything because he's just too pure, man.
Mark
Yeah.
Sil- is exactly
It's
Mark
beautiful.
Silcox is you want to see comedy that is art? It's Mark Silcox. You literally could film that without an audience and with an audience, and it's not different. Like it's
Except
it
there's
is-
just there's fewer people waiting for chickpeas.
yes.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
difference.
And he's so zen. He's like a fucking Buddhist master the way he lives and performs. And I heard a good story about him. I think it was a couple years later. I always say the story. I love it. He was sent by his agent, who at the time was, I think he had an agent, and he was sending him to auditions. And he got sent to this comedy audition, did it, and then the producer phones his agent and goes, "What the? Who the fuck have you just sent? Who is this that you've just sent?" And he's like, "Oh, you didn't like it." He goes, "No, he was a terrible fit for the role." "Okay, sorry, but we've spoken around and we're actually going to write a role specifically for this guy."
Yeah.
He manifested himself his own new character for a sitcom after a bad audition. Like,
He
He's
also
amazing.
did. He
Think
also
about
hid from people. Like his entire life had no idea he was doing stand up.
I still
His
don't know
name
if that's
is
true or
not-
not. I know that he
his
says
name-
it. I don't know.
Yeah.
if it's
Okay.
true.
As long as you acknowledge he said it.
Yeah, he definitely says it. But he's
I think
apparently he used to
what-
tell his wife that he was at ping pong competitions. That's
Or
what he says when he's out doing
And the other
gigs.
thing he used to say was, she knows I'm friends with a lot of comedians, and
Yeah.
she knows I like to be around my friends." And I was like, "What's going on here, man?" Oh, very nice.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. He still to this. I think I've said this on the show before, but the best bucket speech I've ever heard in my life, where he said, "There's a vase by the door, but I have $10,000 in my savings, and I am a minimalist, so don't give me money." And just left, just walked off. I have $10,000, and I'm a minimalist.
I was once crying in Edinburgh, a very ununique experience during August, and Mark Silcox walked by me and went, "You seem upset. I don't like being bothered when I'm upset. I'll see you in a little while." And I was like,
Aw.
"Thanks, Mark."
Wow.
I was like, I gotta tell you, didn't need anyone. You zen, gorgeous man.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
That's amazing.
Guaranteed that guy lives to 110.
I
Like
hope so.
Heart pumping beautifully.
Yeah, like when he got picked by Joe Lycett to be his sort of sidekick, I was like, Joe, brilliant, absolutely perfect. What a nice balance. And also, I don't know anyone that doesn't wish anything but the most success for Mark Silcox.
Yeah.
Universally beloved.
When
He's like the
fucking-
true rebel of comedy currently. Literally.
Yeah, when fucking Sam, what the fuck is Sam's last name? He won the fucking Barry, got Sam Campbell, flew Mark Silcox out to Melbourne for his show.
Love that.
I didn't
And
know that.
the rumor
Those
was-
two are making beautiful music together, man. That's a
Oh my
good
god!
pairing.
When I heard that they were pals, I was like, "We're fine." It's also that thing of like everyone's stopped trying to do that very that like alty, very British weird comedy, they got it. Those two, they're done. Stop.
Yeah.
Don't go do something else. Like if them and Ben Tarjay are working on new shows, go to observational comedy, you're gonna get beat because it's like I'm pretending to be a duck. Then you go see Ben's show, and he's like, over this next hour, I will decide who of you is the duck. And you're like, what the fuck? And then you go and see Mark Silcox and Sam Campbell, and it's just, I don't know, they're performing in a beam of light.
The bit that I always think of for him, and I don't know if it'll translate to this, but it absolutely killed me because it was just so stupid.
Can we get Mark on the show?
He was just talking about which animals are gay. And he goes, and he kept bringing up pictures of different animals, and the one that I always remember is he goes, spiders are gay. And it was a picture of a spider, but it wasn't just a picture. He'd taken a screenshot from a YouTube video. So it's like that extra thing of like, why did you search through a video to take a screenshot for your picture? There are millions of pictures. It's just so silly. Oh, I love it. I love him so much.
I'll be thinking about his shows for years.
Oh yeah, for sure. Every year I bring someone new to see Mark's show.
Yeah.
Every year, because if you haven't seen it, you're missing out. And he just brings basically the same show every year, and it's always funny.
Yeah, it will never not be genius.
I love him.
I have just reached out to Mark Silcox to try and get him on the show. I just sent him a message because I was just like, what are we? Also, what is that gonna? I'm not explaining Twitch to Mark Silcox. I'm not doing it.
Just get him on. He'll come on.
I feel like he's way ahead of us. I feel like he's quietly very popular on Twitch under another assumed name.
Of course. Oh my God! Do
you know the rumors that Mark Silcox isn't his real name?
I know
I know his real name because I paid him.
There you go. Yeah. Amazing.
Obviously, he's
a lot of
not
people
called
who
Mark
don't use their real names, though.
But that, in addition to him not telling his family that he does stand up and that he's on television.
I feel like if he didn't tell his family, I feel like I would have expected him to be using a different name.
So
funny. But the thing is, like, look at the man, look at the act, Mark Silcox.
That's why it's so good. Everything about it is beautiful. Oh, I love him so much.
I'm gonna bring up a picture of him just in case anyone hasn't seen Mark.
I haven't seen him.
Have you not?
No.
Just put it on. I mean,
here we go.
Steve, we should watch Mark.
Yeah, Mark is just so special. There he is. That's him on the right. Just sweet old Mark Silcox, just having a lovely time.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. Who's this fucking white man next to him? Look at that fucking hairdo.
Richard Madeley. Alan Partridge inspiration.
No shit. Oh, that's got to hurt your feelings, eh?
There's videos of him which is basically saying he's Alan Partridging on TV. It's actually fucking hilarious. I'll drop it for you guys. You might like it.
Gareth, I'm exactly as excited as this. Gareth said, Chris talking about Mark like that kid talking about Komodo dragons.
We still have not even scratched the surface
of
Joe Jacobs' top 5.
Oh, yes. Oh,
I don't think. Okay. All right. See what you think. I haven't watched this since I've done it.
All right. Let's get through it. Also, clearly, look how much more fresh faced you were in lockdown. Now you're grizzled vaping. Just.
Yeah, it broke me. I just had COVID.
Oh, how you feeling?
I've performed to an audience of dogs.
It kicked the shit out
on numerous occasions.
Yeah,
glad you're better.
So anyway, I hope you enjoy these top 5 bad gigs plucked out of the Jacobs archives. A lot of people tell you stand-up comedy is going to be very glamorous, and it's not. This video really shows the reality of stand-up comedy. This is me at the Edinburgh Festival 2014, performing during torrential downpour in a gazebo, wearing a parrot mask.
Where is this gazebo?
I know where it is.
There's an audience member there chastising people for laughing at me.
Okay, let me see if I can break this down. That gig, I remember playing that tent. That was at the Free Sisters or the Three Sisters? That tent
nearby. No, it's not that one. It's
No,
further down. I
that's
think this
the
was for
yurt.
1 year only. They put it in a hotel, but on a staircase, but in the middle of a giant staircase, so no one could find.
Oh,
it.
was it in that
Oh my
that weird
God.
tent staircase? That staircase you can sneak up from Cowgate up, like now it's the Ibis. You can sneak up onto.
That's right.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it was there.
I know people had hour shows in there. Like that was a Laughing Horse venue.
Oh
my
god,
fuck.
those guys. I mean, they've given me some really nice rooms, but they can be real dicks about some of the things they call venues.
Yes,
There's some advantage being taken. This is the Betsy Trotwood. I know this one.
Yeah, this is the Betsy Trotwood. This is potentially for Jesters.
Yeah.
And if we're lucky, we're gonna hear the tube go by.
Sometimes I do a character called Joe Represci, based on Tony Soprano.
What?
Keep fucking saying that, motherfucker. It's not gonna get any fucking funny. I'm up here doing fucking gold. Show some fucking respect. I'm fucking jet lagged over here.
Joe, I feel like this one's on you.
Yeah, Joe, this is.
What you fucking saying to me? You'll be going to the house when I fucking extinguish my fucking cigar in your fucking eye. I shut the fuck up.
Joe Represci doesn't get booked much. It may surprise you. I've done my time, and they hated me. And I was so.
I would like a bit more information on Joe Represci before
So
we
basically,
continue.
I've got videos where I do. I basically did a Tony Soprano impression, like I could do a fucking Tony Soprano impersonation, and I just took
Please
that.
stop doing that. Please stop. You're ruining the show.
Sorry.
Says the Michael Caine impersonator.
Actually, my Michael
John,
Caine is
do your Michael
flawless.
Caine right now.
Hello, Joe Jacobs. I just want to let you know. I'm from Elephant and Castle.
I can't find. Basically, I used to do like a travel guide video blog as that.
I love
character.
you for just completely brushing past John.
Don't totally ignore me. No, more Tony. More Tony. No.
Anyway, I did that character in a few competitions because I just wanted money, but David Hardcastle said I couldn't do it because I was just doing my act and a voice. So, which is true.
I got to tell you, that totally justifies that character. We're moving on.
Yeah.
So fucked off with them. I actually went off, got my camera, and then resumed the set again for spite.
And what is your name, sir, Mr. Analyst? Raymond.
That's a lot of
Raymond,
audience
take an objection to
for
my
Jesters.
swearing.
That's not Jesters. This is Christmas Eve, I think it is,
Oh my
at
God.
Monkey Business.
Oh damn!
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
Jesus, that's a lot of
actually,
that's a lot of audience for Monkey.
that's a lot of
Business
people
as
for
well.
Monkey Business. Monkey Business actually is run by a man named Martin Beserman. He's out of his fucking mind.
Yeah.
The best thing to read if you want to know who Martin Beserman is actually Harry Deanswaley's description of Monkey Business comedy. It is available online. I've read it so many times because if I miss London comedy, I read it and go, "Fuck, those were the days." Like they're oh my god. His flyering strategy is telling people who've already bought tickets how that show is going to be shit. Oh, these poor women on the front row had their tits ranked in terms of plumpness, guaranteed.
That's the best crowd work I've
No.
ever seen. Table of
Yes.
two ladies. He went, lesbians, gross, and then walked away.
Wow. Okay, in 2012, the Olympics destroyed Edinburgh that year. No one talks about this in British comedy, but 2012 was the end of the UK giant comedy boom. That's when a shitload of clubs all cut Wednesdays and Thursday shows. A bunch of comedians that none of us have ever heard of because I moved there. Joe, I don't think it started or was just doing open mics, and Chris and I just moved there.
Yeah, I got there like just after that.
So I got invited to this meeting because I was a new guy on the scene. They're like, "Oh, it'd be good if you came to this." At Monkey Business, where they were discussing all these gigs no longer paying. And Martin fucking Beserman, I'll never forget, this was his opening statement. I'm almost not making enough money to pay for cabs to get through London. That's how bad business is getting. And everyone went, "You take cabs everywhere?" And he went, "How am I supposed to get around London?"
Jesus.
I'll get very tired on the tube. And that was the beginning of the meeting, and then Peter of the King's Head got up and went, Martin has asked me to run this meeting, and then turned to Martin and went, for obvious reasons.
Fucking hell.
And then an Irish comedian stood up and went, he goes, a comedian is a job. If you're not paid for that job, you should not do it. I've never done comedy and not been paid, and I will not accept being paid less for my gigs, and I have never seen that act again.
Yep.
Do we know who that act is?
No idea.
Okay.
He was like, there are literally 400 comedians that literally made six figures between the years 2000 and 2012 in the UK, and they are all gone. Gone.
Well, they probably just made millions on crypto. So, you know, they took their jonglers' money and invested it wisely. So let's watch These People Hate
You. Advice before I head off into the night for the Christmas period.
Oh my God.
Try to improve your act without swear words. Okay, try to improve my act without swear words. Material-wise, how was it?
Look how upset everyone is.
They hate you.
I'm impressed that you made this many people.
See, saying I'm shit, basically. So I know I'm swearing again. I do a lot of the bigger clubs, and believe me, it's sometimes nice to come back to somewhere like Ground Zero. Can only go up from here. That's the thing you've got to take. So Raymond, are these your pals with you? Yeah. Cheerful bunch you guys are. Christmas Eve.
This is at the world famous Comedy Store.
That lady in the front started loving it.
Very important to comedians. And it was going all right, but there was someone in there that sounded like they were being killed in an abattoir. It's like a fucking death rattle, not a laugh. That sounded like my grandmother passed away.
Never change.
That's the audience turning on her there. This one is what's known as a
You should watch the video
error.
to appreciate
During
the
the
full
end
noise, though, by the way.
Whoa, where are you?
Yeah.
This looks like a nightmare. This is giving me anxiety.
I weirdly think I know, like I've been to wherever this is. This seems like an open air train platform or something.
It's the airport.
Jesus.
Which airport?
Edinburgh.
Yeah, I knew it was Scotland.
Oh, God,
Like sort of just by, it's the tram. I think, it's the tram station
Why
for
were you
Edinburgh
doing that?
Airport. Because I was offered this gig, and he said you can plug your show. It's something new, and I thought this sounds so awful. I have to see it for myself. I'm outside the airport. Imagine getting to a country via plane, and someone trying to do a comedy show to you. That's what's happening here.
I feel like this is
so tired, so annoyed.
What a terrible idea.
This is up there with there was a guy that had some sort of like mobile thing, and he brought it to Edinburgh, and he kept trying to get people to do their full hours at his venue.
Oh, was that was that the theater that's in the back of a van?
Yes.
Yeah. I did a couple compilation shows in there, and they were all right, but a whole hour is
Yeah, I just remember the guy when I was like, "Wait, you want me to do my whole hour?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "You know, you're only giving me time slots for when my show is at." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do my hour instead of doing my hour." And then I remember he responded with, "You need to learn how to plug your show, John." One of the many times British comedy promoters tried to explain to me how to do my job, and I was like, "Actually, you need to go fuck off." All right, let's watch you bomb at an airport. Oh wait, I'm the one who turns this on.
In the Fringe, I once was asked to perform a bespoke gig at Edinburgh Airport at 10 in the morning. I don't know about you, but when I arrive into a country at an airport, I don't really want to be entertained by a twat on a mic. And I
what time did you get up to go there?
Accent,
fucking early.
Yeah,
I did
7
20
at least.
minutes.
You did 20 minutes?
Who's ready for some comedy? Come take a seat.
This is
Why
the worst
did
gig
you
I've ever
do
seen.
this?
This is it. Congratulations, Joe. You did the worst gig I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And they all have to walk towards you. Oh my god!
Who's filming this?
I gave it to someone who was working through the gig. I said, please film all
She
of
works through the gig. Don't be falling into thinking that's the audience. At this point, I'm performing to nobody.
Nice. It's a great gig. Hey, Batman. Crocodile Dundee.
Oh my god.
Crocodile Dundee. Where you going? Come back. Come to the show.
The show.
That made me hate you a little bit.
The audacity of putting save live comedy after that fucking show. I've never wanted to kill it more.
Yeah.
That was.
Oh my god! Did he pay you at least? Please tell me he paid you to do that.
I'm watching this other video, and we
I
have
don't
to be
think
very
I got
careful.
paid.
Oh my god!
You did that for free? Go fuck yourself.
For exposure.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
know
we gotta be
what?
very careful with
Just-
this other video because
we're joking.
Timeout. That's a timeout.
Oh, because he didn't get paid.
He didn't get paid.
That's
get paid.
Ashley. No, you've lived a privileged comedy life. You don't know what it's like out there.
yeah, you don't know
That
what it's
shit
like. What are you
happens.
talking about? Yeah, what are you? Yeah.
Listen,
what's with
can I
Irish
just say-
people and getting
can
paid
I just
for
say-
comedy? Go ahead, Joe.
About the gig, I wasn't paid, but I was made certain promises or suggested certain things that were going to be happening at that show. The way it was described,
He was going to
me-
give you a hand job. Yeah.
Were you
I
gonna
mean,
give-
we've
I
all been
wish.
there.
No, he made it sound like it was in an airport, sort of like in the sort of departure lounge. People are relaxing, they're getting excited about their holiday. There's good atmosphere. They're going somewhere. That wasn't what I was presented with. That's why
no.
you see what you see.
I feel
Who
like
was this
he
guy?
thought it was that, and he showed up, and the security guards were like, "No,
No.
No.
I can't go into
Absolutely
a rival. You can't go into a departure lounge. Oh,
But that's the only place that could ever be acceptable would be the Edinburgh Fringe. It's just so pointless beyond
Yeah.
words that anyone thought that could be a good idea.
coming
my
in from
God.
Tiger. No, that was a car park. You weren't
Yeah.
even at the. You were at the wrong place where they keep a vehicle.
It's so funny."
Okay, okay. The video that you sent, there is one of the douchiest things just before it even starts, which is he has other comedians commenting on his jokes.
Oh yeah, with the quotes. I was trying to guess who the MC is because I don't recognize him, but I thought he was someone else.
What
I
video
thought-
are you looking at?
The one you sent that we
Oh.
really said mean stuff about this guy, so I have to be very
Yeah,
careful.
We can't show it. His name's in it. I think we're just gonna have to drop this particular topic because we were
Who was
already
the-
too mean about it.
Yeah, we can't show this video because it's literally just his name being said 1,000,000 times.
Well,
Who was
actually, you know what? I mean, we
Who was
can.
the compare?
I don't recognize him. I thought it was Phil
John
Ellis at
said he
first.
knew him.
I
John
thought
said
I
he
did.
knew
I was
him.
watching it. I thought he
Yeah.
was one of. There's a bunch of. This is so weird. A bunch of Essex comedians that
Hmm.
only used to do junglers, and I thought was one of them. He is not that. He's just some fucking mod guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
think
what a
he's-
lot of people look like when I started comedy, that guy.
Yeah,
That was
Ugh.
big back then.
Yuck.
that was a huge look.
Russell Howard, Jack Whitehall, they were all big stars. So everyone, all the white guys, skinny jeans, hoodie, everybody.
Yeah.
Horrible
huge.
times.
Oh my
Awful.
god. Yeah. Everyone. Yeah. You
That's
can
why,
always-
like, the way diversity is being pushed now, I have to agree because white people ruined comedy for quite some time.
we did a real
all
bad
of that
job.
mediocrity.
Yeah,
Like, it's only right that other people get a shot. We had the flag for a bit. Look what we did with it.
yeah.
You
That was
can-
embarrassing.
my favorite moment in British comedy was when everyone was every gig ended. Every joke ended with a story about how they were doing that joke at a gig, and then someone yelled something out. Was my favorite. Also, quickly followed by someone running into the most interesting version of a certain type of person on the street who said this. That love it, love it.
Just liars. Just it was back when comedians didn't open up at all. It was just,
No, it's not. By the way, no, it's not. This was 3 years ago.
no. Yeah. God, there's been some fucking trash. That was the big realization. That was what going back to when John and Garrett and Pierre yelling at me to stop doing open mic gigs was when I finally went and I watched a weekend show because like there weren't a lot of clubs that would let you do that. And so I went and I watched, I think, where was it? Like maybe Top Secret or something. And it was back when Top Secret was like Joel Dommett, Bobby Mayer, and like it was like a sort of a golden age of time. But I remember there's this one guy who was doing 20, and he'd been booked to do it. I'd heard his name before, and I just watched him. I was like, this guy is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, put that in the private chat.
I wish I could remember who it was. I have no memory who it was.
It's actually worse that you can't remember. That's how
yeah.
insignificant and inconsequential it was.
Absolutely
Was it
awful,
me?
forgettable stuff. And I remember being like, oh shit, I can do clubs. Like if this asshole's up here.
Yeah.
Right. And then I started applying for like pro shows.
I think that's like words. I think that's one of the things that's really important about if you want to do stand up is that you have to keep watching stand up at all of the different levels, because what it does is it breaks down the kind of the barrier between you and that.
Yeah.
Because eventually you'll see enough of it that you'll go, well, I know I can do that at least.
Yeah, because it's that old like Dawn at the Comedy Store apparently used to go out and with a new act would take them out to the billboard out front and go, which one of these acts would you replace on my show?
I don't know who said this. But this is the best answer to that. Why are you trying to book me on this weekend? I already played here. Book me on all if you guys aren't working. I want to know who said that, because that's the greatest answer to that question ever.
So
who do you want me to replace? Why are you replacing people? Just book me on another weekend.
I know I did well, but they don't want to see me again tonight.
Yeah, it was so fucking perfect. What I also do know is that I was told that story, and then I said, "Did they book you?" And they were like, "No." And I was like, I mean, totally well within the right. You were being a fucking smartass.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Someone said that at the moment. That's amazing.
Yeah, someone said that
so
to
silly.
Don. Someone said that to Don Ward, and was like, and apparently Don Ward was like, "What? No, that's not like." Was apparently like, "This is not what I was asking."
That's great.
Even if that person had bombed, I would be like, "You got a weekend."
Yeah.
I don't know if this is true, but I heard this story. I do not know if this is true. Which is someone went to do the store. And they said,
narrator.
They said, slow it down. Just slow it down. Slow it down. Slow it down a bit.
I love this story.
You got it. He came back next time, bombed, and they went, "You did really bad, but you take orders. You're passed."
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I hope
That's. I love that. I've heard that story. That story's fucking wild.
Joe, where can people find you? We're gonna get out of here, I think. Seeing as we keep going.
They can find me just on YouTube, Jester Jacobs, or on Instagram, Jester Jacobs. Come find me.
Have you got because you rap as well? Have you got like any music out that people can check out, or?
Yeah, man, I got a brand new album called Grimefulness. All the videos are on my YouTube.
Nice.
There's vinyl available, scented candles, a lot.
What do you mean?
What scent?
Scented candle. Hang on, I'll find one for you before I go.
I thought it was a joke.
Chris, I just put something in the PC that I need you to take a look at.
Okay, I'm just gonna do this real quick. I just posted a link to Joe's YouTube channel, so subscribe.
That's so funny. That is so funny.
Yo.
What is that?
Jesus
oh
Christ.
my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Joe,
damn. Hold on, I'm gonna make you full screen, Joe, so we can see it properly.
Grimefulness.
What?
Awesome.
Like Jacob's
But
Yard.
what does grimefulness smell
That's
like?
so
What is the
funny.
scent?
It says the scent is.
What is the scent?
I'm telling you, both beautiful and practical. This is the essence of Jacobs with additional flourishes of tech discipline, harnessing finest botanical extracts and fusing them with the latest and most cost-effective scientific discoveries to harmonize your environment until self-sufficient. The aromatic aroma is luminous vanilla via amber accords, redolent of ritual. Enjoy this inspiring, stylish, and timeless essential scent and unwind with Zen appreciation. It's vanilla. I got it from IKEA.
You got them from IKEA?
Yeah, I just put a sticker on it. Yeah. Anyway, these are available. Find me on Instagram. They're £99 or free with an album.
That's so funny. They're £99 or free with an album.
Yeah, with an album. I did an advert for it. Tom Ward is in it, or the voiceover.
Oh, I love Tom. That's another one who from back in the day, done well.
Yeah, he's doing his thing, man. His Apollo was great. I was there watching it. It was amazing.
I still haven't watched it. Yeah, I assume he crushed heaps of fuckhead. By the time I left the UK, he was a killer. Like,
yeah, it was very good.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, it was cool to see him because he was one of the acts that I would name when I would talk to Canadian comedians about, because you guys in the UK have such like sort of a cabaret friendly vibe, so you can have people like Tom or Ben Target, things like that that can thrive. And watching, I used to be like, Tom is one of the acts that would have been bullied out of comedy in Canada.
Oh yeah,
people would have just fucking ripped on him. But to watch him go from like trying to figure out all the different stuff that he was doing and then put it into one voice, like when it finally all clicked together, that was really fucking cool. That was an awesome thing to see.
And here is the ad for the candles.
Time, serenity, etc. In a world that gets faster and faster still, we need to be still, to reconnect with aromatic aroma of luminous vanilla via amber accords, a candle ideal for moments of meditation or mourning a dead homie. Introducing Grimefulness by Jacob's Yard.
That's so funny.
It's just the same panning over and over again.
Yeah.
Oh, really good.
It's so funny.
This is actually the
Nice
best
one.
merch ever. Well done. That's so funny.
Nice one. Well, come find me on Insta. There's loads of music about. Yeah, this was fun, man. I like slagging off comedians. I'll come do it again.
Yeah,
Can we have your reserve of crazy comedians gay? Because I'm about to watch that whole video of that guy you sent me, because that looks good.
Oh man, I got loads. I'll have a look through the old archives. I've got fucking amazing
Oh
shit.
my god.
There's one. This one. All right, I'm gonna share this video before we go. I'm sure I played this before. This is just to give an example of how different comedy in Canada is. Check out this. Now this guy has cleaned his life up and he has really turned it around. God, I hope.
Okay, so we're just gonna laugh at a man at his darkest moment.
That's right. It's so much
Fucking
funnier.
rip on a guy at rock bottom.
That's right.
If his life is turned around,
First
we
of all,
can do that.
This was not his rock bottom. This was just one of the many times he was just a bad person. He's not a bad person anymore. Oh, if he's taking this video down, I'm gonna be so angry. It is so good. No. Oh, we're getting close. No.
There's so many people this could be. Because there's a lot of dudes that were the worst and have now sort of worked it out in Canada. Because like when I say that British comedians would have been bullied, it's like it was a really bro heavy scene for a long time. It was very much like, I would play hockey, but I can't ice skate. And so here I am to be mean to new comedians. John found it. Look at the joy on his face.
I'm so happy this is around. This is so fucking awful.
Okay, did you find it?
I certainly did.
That's
The comedian's name is Richard Lett. He was also a slam poet.
That name.
He is like a grizzled fucking. No, it is not. Glenn Foster. It's not that Canadian guy, Glenn Foster. Same era. This guy has gotten sober and is a much nicer human being. He's now a mall Santa and lives in a church.
Hey.
It's just because Vancouver rent's very prohibitively expensive. Let's just enjoy a bit of this. This, I believe, has one of the craziest endings ever.
Men name their privates after other men. Hey, Peter, I named my cock after you. Thanks, Woody. There's Willie and Rod. Oh, Johnson's picked them up. They're at Lang's. What about Helmet? He's coming. What's going on over here?
What was that little head shake?
Really?
Just sounds like a really angry
Also, it's still not till
customer.
11. That's what they told me.
I'm getting like Ron Burgundy vibes.
Were they lying, or is this one of the tricks they pull on the comedian? When's that last ferry? Hole 11. You might see the comedian curled up in the snow. These are little Canadian hearts good. CR is starving to death. Freezing in the snow. So ready, are you catching the boat? Well, get the fuck out then. Lingy shot a Sambuca tomorrow.
This is just bad watching, John. What's going on?
Hang on. It may not be the right video.
All homosexuals report to the parking lot.
The classic. The classic, Chris. One thing I don't deliver.
There it is. Yeah, that's Canada.
Is everybody getting on the boat now? Is that, hey, that's a good excuse.
Did he just walk the whole room?
Leave now, we're leaving the island. And we're simply hitchhiking up the road to
Is he in a ferry tournament?
What is going on?
What's going on in the back there?
No
I hate
idea.
this. I'm taking it off. I hate
Oh,
this.
you missed it.
Yeah, you're explaining this to the Japanese people.
You literally just missed the entire thing. He goes, why is everyone
You made us
talking
watch
back
too
there?"
much. You made us
No,
watch
no.
too much.
It all builds to him going, the entire audience is leaving the room. And right there goes, why is everyone leaving? What are you guys, all Chinese or something? And then the screen just goes blank because someone grabbed the camera.
I didn't
Why-
understand a word he was saying.
He literally was just not doing comedy. And then a guy got up to leave and he went, all homosexuals to the parking lot, all homosexuals to the parking lot.
I thought that's what he
Is that
said.
what he said?
And then everyone just starts leaving at the entire, and he literally ends it by going, what are you guys all Chinese back there?
Oh, shit.
But
Yeah,
Chris,
yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a
Chris
lot of comedy.
could not wait one more. It was almost perfect when you took it off because I was like, here it comes. I'm done.
I feel
with
like I wouldn't have understood it anyway.
Yeah, no, just terrible.
It ended up being better that we missed it and you told us.
Yeah,
It's
I guarantee
so-
your delivery was better.
It's not. It's so jarring because you watch a man realize his gig is over because he's literally just. But he can't save it because he accuses them all of being Chinese.
That's those old school road chops right there. That's
Hey, I see all these white people leaving. Yeah, what are you guys? What are you guys? Another race?
Good Lord.
Jesus Christ. So thanks for coming on, Joe.
My pleasure.
It
Anytime.
was very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Ashley. You guys have a good day or night, wherever the fuck you are.
Thanks, man.
Peace.
You too. Don't drop off yet. Watch our exit video. If you,
I like your intro
You're
video.
gonna
high-tech
enjoy,
stuff.
You might not have
you're gonna
noticed
enjoy
this,
the
but
exit video.
I'm really
the exit
stoned
video
right
is the
now.
best.
Yeah. Oh, then you're really gonna love this last one.
You're
Thanks
gonna
for watching,
love
everybody.
it.
We're gonna raid Suze Kempner. So wish her a happy birthday. That's the raid message. Happy birthday, Suze.
Happy
We love you.
birthday.
We will see you tomorrow. Here's an old lady talking about sex. Bye.
That's all. Penis into her vagina. That's all. That's all. And that's called sexual intercourse. Some people call it having sex. So the man passes the sperm to the woman, and now his sperm is in her. Maybe you're wondering if a mistake could be made when having sexual intercourse. That can't happen.